Mastering one-hand hops on both sides is the key. It will give you major advantage for a lot of different moves, such as the air flare and a lot of other stuff. What's up guys, it's your boy Coach Sambo. And today with the help of one of my students, BBoy Petito from Battle Droid's crew, we'll be diving deep into the world of one-hand hops. Now if you want to start learning the one-hand hops, it's important to be able to do a decent handstand. If you don't know how to do a decent handstand, then hop on over to my YouTube channel, because on my YouTube channel you will find a lot of videos, including a lot of videos on handstand. So what are you waiting for? Now, assuming that you know how to do a decent handstand, let's take a look at the proper leg position for hops. Now the technique for hopping on your hands basically comes out of your legs and hips. Sure, it's possible to hop out of your arms without using any technique whatsoever from your legs. However, it's just a waste of energy and it just doesn't look as good as somebody who would execute proper hops with good hip and leg technique. So the form at this point is very important. You want to pull your legs in with your knees close to your chest, and at all costs avoid the banana form. And I recommend you guys to try both out so you know what a banana form feels like, and then obviously also doing the proper form so you know what that feels like. And remember that, because that's what you're gonna have to execute for the rest of your breaking career. Now once those legs and those hips are in the correct position, you then want to very gently kick those legs out to then perform a pump or a hop, keeping in mind that you do not have to be pushing with your arms anytime soon. The kick and the pump out of the legs and hips is more than enough to get you jumping and hopping in this position. I strongly recommend you to just execute one jump first and then double check the position of the landing to make sure you don't come close to any type of banana forms at this point, because this is a very common mistake that a lot of people perform at this stage. Once one hop checks out and you manage to maintain that good form, only at this point are you ready to execute multiple hops. Also keeping in mind, you want to keep and maintain that good technique and that good form. Use the form, Luke. Another common mistake is people executing one jump or one hop and then landing with the legs straight or in the banana form. So it's very, very common. So make sure you stay very aware while executing this, so you save time and just learn these hand hops a lot faster. Now it is possible to hop with a banana form, however you're not utilizing the technique efficiently, so you won't be able to jump as clean and as high as somebody who would use the proper technique. Now for the next step, we have to get used to finding our balance on one hand. So start in a handstand and then shift your hips slightly to the side, depending on the arm that you wish to stand on. And then place your fingertips with the other hand, shifting most of the weight on that particular hand. Now I have to very strongly recommend you guys to do this on both sides, because most people do not learn their hand hops on both sides, which creates major disadvantage for them in the future. And you really gotta trust me with this, because I've been teaching and coaching professionally for over 20 years now at the highest level you can imagine. So if you're hearing this and you deliberately choose to just practice on one side, then I'm very, very sorry, but you're not the smartest person out there. Now let's utilize the pump technique and hop from one hand to the other back and forth, which is a great exercise not just to better your technique, but also to get used to hopping on both of the hands. And to be honest, if you know how to do this, you can already utilize this for combos so you can use it in battle. Now if all the previous stuff works for you and you realize the importance of practicing this on both sides, we can now get to work on the actual one-hand hops. Also adding that when you use a proper pump technique with the knees close to your chest, you can create an amazing amount of airtime to then utilize however you want in the future. Now there are two very common ways of getting into your one-hand hops. Some people like to start from a handstand position with both hands on the floor, and then some people like to start their one-hand hops from half a cartwheel. Both are equally good. It's all up to you what you feel more comfortable with, just as long as you get the job done and practice it on both sides. Now to get this one-hand hop game going, you're gonna have to build up on the number of jumps you can execute. Starting out with just one hop, and then with a good form, just trying to land that position, display a little bit of balance and control, therefore just holding that one-hand position a little bit after the hand hop. From here, you just want to push the numbers from one hop to two hops to three hops to four hops. With each practice session, you just want to push the numbers further and further, keeping in mind that a good and clean landing position is of extreme importance, because if your landing position is not clean and clear, then you won't be able to utilize that pump position for the next hop, and then your one-hand hops is just going to become all trashy. Now there are multiple exercises and games that I love to give to my students to help them speed up the process of learning their one-hand hops. The first one is combining your hand hops with a handstand. So as soon as you reach your limit, or you feel you're going to lose your balance, catch yourself by executing a basic handstand, and then from that basic handstand, try and get back into the one-hand hops, pushing the limits and the amount of time that you spend on your hands, therefore speeding up the process and improving your one-hand hops. Now I share more of these exercises in my other one-hand hop video that you can also find on my YouTube channel. Also, a great tip that I want to share with you guys at this point is that while hopping on your hand, you have to kind of steer and follow the balance while executing these hops. Because while you'll be executing these one-hand hops, you will be leaning and falling in a certain direction. So then hopping in that certain certain direction will help you regain balance and reposition yourself so you can keep hopping for a longer period of time. Now, it does take time to practice this, keeping in mind that you also want to do this on both sides, but it's up to you to just be disciplined enough to train this just a little bit with each practice. Once your one hand hops start to take shape, it's good to know that there are a lot of variations out there for you to try out and have fun with, kind of also the rules of the game for you to find your own shit and develop your own combos or your own shapes and forms and ideas with these hand hops. Another thing that's good to know is if you unlock your one hand hops, then you usually have an easier time unlocking elbow hops at the same time, which is an extra move that you can use however you want within this breaking game. Keep in mind that the way you get into your moves is of great importance. So if you manage to learn your one hand hops and you want to use them, find smart, clever, and original ways to get into your hand hops so you raise the value of your hops, especially if you're going to use your hand hops in a battle. Also, let me remind you and motivate you that one hand hops are the key for that superiority when it comes to air power. So don't be lazy or stingy on the one hand hops, because the price of getting smoked in a battle is pretty expensive. And if you want tons of great tips for battle, then definitely check out some of my videos that I have with some exquisite battle tips that you will only find with your man, Coach Sambo. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, it is all about that B-boy shit. Peace.